Alright, this is Bobby with Renaissance Game Supplies. So, pretty exciting day. We've been waiting for this day for almost 5 months. This is a new Magic Sorter Day. This will give us our second machine. And this is our box opening for it. I'm going to be switching between a couple cameras, hopefully capturing all the funness here. I can't even begin to explain how excited I am to see this. I have never seen one new. Again, those of you who've been following me for a little while, you'll know that I bought mine used. It took me about 65 days to kind of fine tune it and get it to where it actually would run with the subscription and all that. So yeah, this is our first time opening one. So this is pretty exciting. We're gonna go ahead and turn on the old one too. I still have it loaded up with cards, but that's okay. Yeah, first thing I want to do is find the front so I can set it right next to the one we already have here. So yeah, let's continue digging and see if we can find it. I see a robot arm, I see a stopper. I'll be saving this foam and the box. Well, that's pretty cool. Lots of zip ties. I see some new parts on it that I didn't see on the other one, so that's kind of cool. I'm gonna set this aside. Alright. I do see some support bars for shipping out. Alright, so I found the front. Man, this thing looks awesome. We're gonna get it all out of here. Ow, I got zapped. Dang, I got zapped pretty good by the static there. Man, there's some things that are definitely just yanked tight on this, and the arm is definitely out of alignment during the shipping here. So let's go ahead and lift it up out of there. And then we're gonna spin it around. Then we're gonna investigate this thing before we even fire it up. What I might do is move the camera around too so I can... Man, what is going on here? We're gonna move the camera around. Kind of clean this up a little bit. Man, that thing looks in pretty rough shape there. Hold on here. Just gonna move the camera over here a little closer. There we go. Let me see if I can find something to cut these snips or cut these zip ties with. Alright, let's see. Alright. See, this is the power adapter in a previous video. I was talking about how it's powered through the bottom here and it's kind of annoying. So I will be tomorrow going through and putting a toggle button on the side again, plus an Ethernet quick disconnect so I can move it if I want to have it wired. I just think those are absolute necessary modifications. I mean, some people don't really agree with it, and that's fine, but for me and for what I use and what I use this machine for, it's a no-brainer. Man, get all that stuff off there. Alright, let's get the rest of this out. There's the power cord for it. We're not even going to boot this up just yet. We're going to kind of go through and just check everything first. I mean, that there got disconnected from a stopper, which I don't even see it in here. So yeah, that has me a little worried. like maybe that stopper got broke off, or maybe I have to attach it. That's probably what it is. I probably have to attach it. So I do like the fact that the cable management is a lot different than the original one that I have, so that's good. Now I do want to point this out, and let me maybe move my robot or my tripod over here. And what I want to point out is right in this area here, that's your robot arm. You disconnect that zip tie, it's going to just drop, and you can shear some stuff off. So you want to be careful. You kind of want to get your hand either up under there, kind of lift a little bit like that, or you can just kind of hold it up underneath the stepper motor here. So that's how I'm going to hold it. And then see, already it wants to just drop. And that's not what we want. You want to protect that as much as possible. And in some of the other videos I have some tips and tricks and kind of little fixes I've made to mine so that it causes less damage, it doesn't move back and forth and break stuff off and whatnot. And I guess that's part of what a lot of frustrations were with users when I was originally doing my research before I bought a used one, as I thought that, you know, what everybody was kind of complaining about was stuff that I could look at and possibly make better, I guess, and then post the changes and see if that improved other users' experience. Because I thought the machine was a great machine, just had a few mechanical little things. Alright, so we're going to drop that. Alright, so that got a little bit of damage up here, but that's okay. Let's see. Let's get all these parts out. Yeah, I might have to break this video down here a little bit, because apparently my GoPro is not as charged as I thought it was. Let's see, we got some binding here because it's not going all the way down. Huh, well, I'll leave it in that position for a minute because that's getting tiring, kind of holding that. I noticed that some of the cabling is just a little tight. We're gonna see here. The stepper motor, that's not connected. So we'll go ahead and get that connected. We're gonna unplug the stop switches. We're gonna reseat those. The motors, just unplug them. Plug them back in. That kind of little stuff just kind of helps. You just want to do a good thorough inspection on everything here before you kind of start using it. The other thing I want to point out is down in here where you got your little card towers, brand new from the factory, they're still just all separated and stuff, so we might have some issues there, but we're going to do an alignment and kind of get everything kind of set up first as our initial pass. And we're just resetting that stopper switch. Let me get this out of the way. Alright, that is out. Okay, we're just missing the stopper switch that gets mounted right here, as you can probably see over there in that corner. It's there. I like to leave mine loose here. The arm during use starts to tighten up some of your wiring up in your wire harness here, so I will be loosening it up. That's pretty tight again. Same thing here, they kind of zip tied from the factory, so I don't know, I might try that solution, see if that helps. I did notice that there's a different color of arm now, but they still went ahead and did the same thing. They put a bolt thread through with a nut on the side of it, or through the face of it here, and it still sticks out too far. So we're gonna try some things here and just test this out and see how it functions. Because one thing I am worried about is just making sure that that bolt head does not stick out too far, that the arm catches on the front rail. That's the issue I was having with this one over here, and I assume I'm gonna have the same issue here. So it's kind of nice having something to compare to. Oops, let's unplug this stepper motor. Okay, that's reseated. The arm is a little cockeyed here, so I'm going to align that. That's more straight on now. The camera may or may not need to be focused, so we're going to turn this on once I install this stopper switch, and we're going to check on the programming. I have to plug this guy in. I can't just turn my rocker switch on. I will make the modifications tomorrow. I'll do another video on that. I did notice that that screw is loose, so I'll tighten that up. It's probably because that center post is right there. I don't know. Either way, I'll tighten it up. So, again, this is something I recommend. You don't have to get. It's called a 27-in-1, made by Klein Tools. Home Depot makes them. These are great because they're Phillips, various size. They're security bits, and it's 27-in-1 because you literally have 27 tools here. And you're gonna want this. These are security, which means they have the hole in the tips here. But you want them because that's what kind of puts all this together. Those are Allen head. So you can just use an Allen wrench if you want, or you can go do what I did and just have all your tools in one tool, which is kind of nice. If you can find the right one, then it's kind of nice. Damn, where is it? Oh, there it is. As you can tell, it's got some wear on it, so you can tell I've been using that one for a while. And I ain't just making shit up. Alright, let's get this buttoned up. Okay, that guy's buttoned up. Oh, let's see. Oh, so this is where it's pretty sweet. They give you a patch cord. Don't really need it. I'm gonna be on Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna have to set the Wi-Fi up here in a minute. Which kind of sucks in a way because it's a little pesky at first to try to get on the Wi-Fi. But if at first I can't succeed, then I will pop the USB keyboard setup out of there. These are just some additional 3D printed parts. Here's your camera focus tool. So if you're getting a brand new one, don't get rid of this. Otherwise it's going to cost you almost $20 to buy a new camera module. And that camera module will come with one. So hang on to that guy. You're going to use it. Pretty sweet. Oh, there you go. There's another camera ribbon. That's this guy right here. I like to push mine in. That way it doesn't scrape on the cage. If it'll go in there. There we go. If it stays. Yeah, there we go. That way nothing's kind of creating up and down friction there. Here we go. Here's our stopper switch. Here's a spare stopper switch, which is cool. This is probably the one for the robot arm because it has the bracket for it. And the one for the robot is already on there. This is pretty sweet. These are additional 3D printed card towers. This is what I was referring to earlier. So this one here is the height of the card because of how tall it is. This is your side of your card because of how narrow it is. And note the two different sizes. And they basically just pull together, so that creates a card pocket, and you just anchor it down to the bottom of the chassis. So you get a couple spare towers, and the robot arm, if it doesn't set it up properly, they will break these off. So be super careful when you are first installing these and setting everything up. These are your stopper cards. So this is what tells the machine that you have reached the end of your stack, your sort. and I always load these into the feeder tray. You only need 6, and they got to be face up so that if you're looking at them, they're just vertical looking. Hang on to your spares. I mean, you're gonna find moments where when you go grab your card stacks, you're grabbing those off the bottom accidentally too, which kind of sucks because then you have to go find the damn things, or you just print new ones. But yeah, so mine are in boxes somewhere as I've had to dig around to find them. All right, so this is what your stopper switch looks like, and this is your harness. So it's a spare harness at this point, but that stopper switch is what you need so that the robot can go all the way to the left and stop. So we're going to mount this up real quick. There it is. There's a pair of screws in there. Yep. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get this mounted. It appears, oh actually, you know what, we're going to switch out the switch. We're going to use this switch. This is the one with the correct plastic mount. That way you don't ground out. There's an electrical circuit card there, so you don't want to ground out on the metal, so you're going to mount this instead. And we're going to look at the existing and see what the markings are for that. So it is, they got a little washer behind it as well, so it almost sits right above the wire harness here, like that. So it sits just above that, so we're gonna go ahead and get that mounted. And then we're gonna boot this thing up and see if it spits out any errors at us. And then maybe later next week or something like that, I'll go get the wireless keyboard and mouse USB option and plug that in there so I can always get into it with a mouse and a keyboard instead of having to always use the touch screen, which touch screen's nice, but I mean, I don't know, I'm probably just old school, faster with the keyboard and mouse. Alright, let's go ahead and get this guy in. Oh, there you go. Already breaking stuff. As you can see, there's no manual that comes with this, but they got a QR code where you can go out online and look at it there. So it's kind of cool. You can check it out and everything. Here's where you want to put all your service data, your machine, the name, and all that kind of sort of stuff. You don't have to. I usually just snap a picture of it, so I have it on there. All right, I do believe we are ready to fire up this computer, this sorter, for the first time since it's left the factory. And yeah. So I'm going to start it in its home position. Its home position is all the way back, all the way over, and right in this pocket here. And see, already I can feel the grinding of a screw head. Like they might have used too large of a screw back here for these 2 screws. I can tell that already, just by merely moving this. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that. Maybe even before I fire this up, I might pause the camera and make those quick screw adjustments and turn this camera back on, because we're gonna have to go through the settings and I kind of want you to see that too. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. Got a couple cords in the way. It's just me trying to charge the camera at the same time I'm doing this, so I'm gonna remove those here in a minute, but I just wanted to show you this part right here. Before, when the screw head was kind of this size, rather thick, I put a much thinner head in here, and now I want you to watch this and listen. That has such nice action on it now. It's not scraping, it's not binding, it's not going to prematurely beat up your machine. So I want to show you the existing as well. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for nice, smooth action. I mean, this thing's a robot, so let's treat it as such. So here we go. We're going to attempt to turn this guy on. Let's get it back to its home position. Boom, there it is. It'll adjust itself here in a minute. Then we're going to turn this guy on, and I'm going to get these cords out of the way, and I'm going to show you the touch screen as it boots up. And if it gets to be too much of a pain in the butt, I will pull the wireless mouse and keyboard from the machine here to the left, and I'll put it in this just so we can kind of go through some settings and whatnot. But hold on, I'm gonna pause it. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm going to jump down here, go ahead and plug this into a UPS power. And I'll explain here in a little bit why eventually you want a UPS. I mean, maybe you already know. I mean, dealing with electronics, maybe you're in IT already, so I don't need to explain it. But you definitely want it, because the last thing you want to do is have your parts shear off your robot arm just because you suddenly lost power or brownout or something, or a thunderstorm, and next minute you know you're replacing parts on a machine or two if you have two. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this here a little bit. Hopefully this is going to get you a nice view. Alright, so here we are. We're also checking for the damn, I can't even think of it now. It's checking for a software update, basically, firmware. There we go, that's the word. We're looking for firmware update. Hold on here. Okay. We don't have a mouse, so we're gonna do this the hard way. Camera settings. So it looks like all the camera settings are in already. Hardware settings. System settings. Looks like it's in. See, this is where we're gonna change this. I use TCG Player, so we're gonna select TCG Player. We want TCG Player as our export format. And advanced logging, no. Ethernet camera, yes. So we're going to hit save settings. And up here, if you go to logging, it'll tell you that it couldn't connect to the API server, blah, 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 all that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get into the Wi-Fi. So this is where I kind of need a keyboard. It's a lot quicker. So I think I'm going to take the keyboard out of my other one and put it in this for now so I can connect to the Wi-Fi. And I will pause it and be right back. Alright, we are back. What I wanted to show you was the set that I picked up. Looks like Avison Restored. And I made them all kind of about the same height. Just again, probably like 10 to 15, 20 cards maybe in each stack. Because again, I'm not trying to sort, I'm just testing. I picked only one set. And I'm going to do an alphabetical sort. And when you do an alphabetical sort, it's only going to choose cards from the first 4 pockets. This is going to be the discard pile. Like if you have tokens, lands it can't recognize. Or some cards that slipped in from other sets, or a card that's upside down, or a card that is backwards. So if it's like this, it's going to reject it. If it's like this, it's going to reject it. If it's a token, it's going to reject it. I mean, the reason being is it can't read both sides of the card. So I tend to try not to load tokens in there. I'll just do those by hand with Quick List. So here we go. We're going to go through the actual send command. This is the command you're going to use to actually initiate the robot to start doing your sorting. So here's kind of where you want to pay attention to what you're doing. So I like to set mine to alphabetical, A to Z. The nearest assignment, which is what it's going to do, is it's going to grab a card, it's going to move it there. It's going to grab it, it's going to move it there or wherever, but it won't necessarily be organized. So I like mine to be in a fixed position. If I can find it, there it is. So fixed alphabetical. I want my emailed results, so that'll be yes. Here's where you can kind of condition your cards, and this is important. So like if you got an older set, I'll usually just knock it down to like MP for now. Also your set type, we're not doing all sets, so you're gonna have to do a custom. And what you're looking for is a drop-down menu of all the sets. So this being its first time here, it might have an issue just kind of popping this up, and that's okay. We're gonna let it run for a minute. But generally it's like right there. I mean, it responds very quick. So if we have an issue with it, we'll just close it and try it again. This should not be a subscription issue because both these machines are registered under the same subscription. But if it is for some reason, we're just gonna mark it as all instead of custom, and we're just gonna test this thing anyway. Maybe it's just gathering all the data. It does have to go out and query the API server, so we'll just give this a minute. Alright, so we might have an issue. This should not take this long, so oops, sorry about the camera wobble there. My GoPro is a no-go. Apparently the battery died, so I thought it was charged, but apparently it was not. So screw it, we're just gonna do all. We're gonna do A to Z because it's just one set. We want fixed assignment pockets, moderately played, and English. That's always important to have as well. And then you want your TCG player or you can do Card Kingdom, or sorry, Card Market, Binder POS, Default, Crystal Commerce, any of those sort of things. Whatever you're using, you can do that. Pick those. Save settings just to make sure. And we want to send the command. Here we go. Nice. They put the camera hole in. That's amazing. See, I made a video about installing one of those so I can adjust my camera and take it off without having to tear the whole robot arm apart. So I'm glad they're watching, or somebody is. So that vacuum, I don't really care for that sound, so I'll probably knock mine down a little bit. But what we're looking for right here is we want to make sure that that bolt head on that arm does not hit this chassis and scrape, because it will create some serious damage really fast. And what it's doing sometimes is it'll measure the height of the card stack, and then it'll come over and start grabbing the image of the cards. So like I said, this thing's pretty slick. You just got to be careful when you initially do your setup. Just pay attention, otherwise you'll create premature damage. And the one thing I want to point out here is it's definitely sorting it by its fixed pockets, because up in that top corner will be S, so it does A through F, G through I think L or something, M, and then N through whatever, and R, and then S through like Z up there. So it does a pretty good job. And see, this is the part where you got to be careful. Right here in this corner, it's very dangerous for this machine sometimes, because all this going on, it's very busy right here. Oh, see, that's binding. That's why sometimes I'll cut that zip tie and that zip tie. As you can see, mine over here like that, but see, that one's getting a little loose, so I gotta kind of loosen that up again, or a little tight, I mean. So I'll loosen that up. And eventually what I'll do is, because this goes up and down, you don't want to tie this off too tight. So I'll probably end up just putting one right on here, that way it can go up and down. Let's get back onto this guy, because I want you to see all the issues it has straight out of the box, so you know what to fix before you start really firing yours up. Oh yeah, see, I gotta fix that. The other thing I don't like either is this is kind of cockeyed, so I'll be adjusting that, but that's not affecting anything at the moment, so it's kind of a low priority. Eventually what I'm going to do is I'll upload some videos of the camera, just kind of recording both of these machines working independently of each other. That'd be kind of cool, I think, to watch. Maybe a split screen or something. I'll figure out. Maybe I can do a split screen. Maybe it'd be kind of cool, or maybe just both working independently here. I don't know. I'll play with some ideas. But anyway, I mean, that's basically a quick kind of, box opening, kind of checking your settings guide, kind of a walkthrough sort of thing, whatever you want to call this video. And again, like I said, I will do an update video showing my future modifications, the power adapter switch, the Ethernet connection. I might make a USB extension come out like over here, maybe plug it in so I can just stick the dongle in. I'll have to keep taking the case off, because I don't really like the fact that you have to keep taking the case off to do stuff. I'd rather just leave that alone. These are the most accessible, most used interfaces that I use, so that's why I would put those on there. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend it unless you really want it or need it. So yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's doing a pretty good job here. And I noticed the arm hasn't hit any of the towers and any of that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it, let it run. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into my hardware, camera, and advanced settings, system settings. Maybe duplicate that over here and see if that fixes. Because every now and then this arm hits one of these towers and I can't stand that. So maybe what I need to do is just kind of try to get it back to some factory settings instead of the settings that I learned the hard way. Alright, well, I appreciate you all watching and comments and all that. So thank you for being a part of this. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. I try to respond to every one of them as soon as I can. I'm a pretty busy guy, so sometimes I do fall behind. So if you really need to get a hold of me or something like that, just definitely the fastest way is just dropping a comment, and just let me know if it's urgent or whatnot, because I do sometimes get the notification of a message, and I'll preview it real quick before I have a chance to respond to it. So yeah, just let me know. Yeah, again, that's gonna be an issue. So I might have to cut this one zip tie or something. I don't like the way it scrapes on that camera module. Anyway, as I was saying, I appreciate everyone you out there, and hope you all have a great weekend. I'll be posting a lot of content with both machines this weekend.